Calaroga Shark Media.
Wow, Saturday Night Live, man. I don't know what to say. Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Maybe the correct move was Dave Chappelle soul-searching for 17 minutes while telling the occasional joke. Bill Burr ate it. That monologue, not funny at all. I was on Threads and I said, it's one of those nights you can tell by 11:47 p.m. this episode ain't happening. Thread user MXM80 wrote, I wonder if Bill Burr could actually hear the sound of everyone changing the channel simultaneously. And I was taken aback by the opening bit. In case you missed it, the joke was, hey, we never made fun of Trump. We always supported him all along, which is a great joke. And I say that because we've been doing that joke on the Ballot podcast for a full week. The episodes are there. Hit play on any of them. Are you SNL writers fans of the Ballot podcast? Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts then. I imagine it's just a case of parallel thinking, but Ballot is me and an AI, and you're an entire writer's room, and we're coming up with the same bit, and I actually think my version was funnier? Wow, what a swing and a miss by Saturday Night Live. The opening began with cast members solemnly discussing how Trump had won. They added how Trump might seek vengeance against his opponents. Keena Thompson then says, we at SNL would like to say to Donald Trump, we've been with you all along, which is the exact joke we've been doing on Ballot all week. Go listen to it. They're there. Bowen Yang, we've never wavered in our support of you, even when others doubted you. Colin Jost did score with, I hate how the lamestream media Michael Che has to spin it to make you look foolish. Dana Carvey came out and did Elon Musk. Why is Dana Carvey still there? I'll give you the, okay, it's the election, we're calling out the big guns, but why is Dana Carvey there? Someone on the cast can do Elon Musk. Why is Carvey there? You had your minute. Let the current cast do their thing. Bill Burr's monologue. Ladies, enough with the pantsuits. It's not working. Good joke. Sometimes you have to have respect for yourselves. You don't win the office like on Posse. You got to whore it up a little. I'm not saying go full Hooters, but find a happy medium between Applebee's and your dad didn't stick around. I know ugly women, feminists, don't want to hear this message, but just tease them a little bit. Make a farmer feel like he's got a shot. That got scattered applause, and if you watched the band, and a good bellwether, and there are articles about this, the nice lady who plays guitar, who's pretty much center screen, she's slightly to the right of center as you watch on your TV, she was stone-faced. Somebody on Thread said she had heard the jokes already in rehearsal, and I wrote back, well, they hear the jokes in rehearsal every week, and some weeks they have big smiles. The band was stone-faced as Bill Burr bombed. The Grammys have announced the nominees for Best Comedy Album. Longtime listeners know this rant. I will do it quickly this year. My personal wish would be for the best comedy album to go to something that is an album. You know what an album is, right? An album is not a Netflix special. Netflix specials are great. Netflix specials should win Emmys. I would like the Grammy to support audio. Rant over. I've done it every year. Go back and listen to last year. The nominees are Netflix special, Trevor Noah, Where Was I? Netflix special, Dave Chappelle, The Dreamer. HBO special, Nikki Glaser, Someday You'll Die. I don't know why that one's nominated at all. That was not good. Netflix special Ricky Gervais Armageddon. And my personal choice for the best comedy album of the year, Jim Gaffigan, The Prisoner, which is, quote, an old school album release featuring material all new and never released. And there's no video. It's an album. So I am big time in Jim Gaffigan's court. Someone pointed out there are 5 nominees, and 2 of the 5, aka 40%, are comedians who are allegedly canceled. Well, that's interesting. The Hollywood Reporter listened to Joe Rogan's episode with Tim Dillon and picked up on Tim Dillon saying that Joker 2 was the worst film ever made. Dillon's been making that joke in his own podcast for several weeks now. Tim Dillon appears in Joker 2 as an Arkham Asylum guard. Dillon told Rogan, I think what happened after the first Joker, there's a lot of talk like, ooh, this was loved by incels. This was loved by the wrong kinds of people. This sent the wrong kind of message. Male rage, nihilism, all these think pieces. And then I think, what if we went the other way? And now they have Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga tap dancing to a point where it's insane. From the Press Herald, David Cross told the audience on Friday night he was unsure about what was going to happen. Since it was his first show after the election, he had to reconfigure his set. He opened with some jokes about Trump being a protector of women and closed with a, quote, more somber reflection on the implications of a potential nationwide abortion ban. The Press Herald recaps, lest the mood ever get too bleak, self-pitying, or pessimistic, he took left turns into shocking, gross-out imagery or just plain wrong gags, ironically, the kind of jokes that conservatives say you can't do anymore. Other topics, anecdotes such as a vacation to Machu Picchu, an unexpectedly erotic massage at a Chinese parlor, and the discarded household goods in a free box on the sidewalk. With the disarming, matter-of-fact voice of a high school guidance counselor, David Cross stretched mundane observations into absurdist territory and reshaped surreal flights of fantasy into everyday language. I like David Cross a lot. CBS Chicago reported that protesters gathered outside the Vic Theater in Lakeview Friday night as Michael Rapoport took the stage. CBS reports advocates for the Palestinian cause have called Michael Rapoport a racist Zionist, pointing to jokes and comments he has made on stage and social media. Rapoport told NBC Chicago, "I'm not accepting, I am not down with, I don't prohibit, nor will I step backward with regard to me being canceled for being Jewish or anyone else being canceled for being Jewish or any other reason." The Guardian caught up with some comedians. The topic, what do we do now that Trump won? Chicago-born, London-based stand-up Sarah Barron said Trump is so ridiculous that he makes the comic extrapolation harder. UK-based stand-up Janine Haruni says it's a gift for comedy because people are feeling terrible and they want to laugh. She has a show focused on the distance between her left-leaning self and her Trump-supporting father and says, "I wrote that show because I love my dad and cannot reconcile his political beliefs with how I feel about him personally. My father's also an Arab, son of immigrants, so I was really struggling with that. I wanted it to feel healing and hopeful." Lewis McLeod is the voice of Trump on Dead Ringers and says it becomes its own protest, but it's done with laughs. He perfected his Trump impression by listening to recent Rogan interviews. Listening to him on Joe Rogan was a gift for any mimic. It was uninterrupted. He wasn't arguing. He's a little bit older, more reflective. There's this messianic tone. There's something of a mad, maniacal robot about him. McLeod says there's a danger of creating satirical impressions that are too likable. That's the rub of satire and mimicry. Haruni said, "Not everyone who voted for Trump holds his worst beliefs. I like comedy that unites people from different systems of belief. I hope people strive for that rather than continue to feed into the divisive narrative that's driving Americans further apart. I had my say on this on Saturday, and that's how I feel. Let's make fun of both sides and all sides." Let's see what's happening at the New York Comedy Festival. A friend of the show, Jason Zinneman in the New York Times, says we should go see Jay Jordan at the Gramercy Theater. Jay is one of the most reliable killers working the New York comedy circuit. When he pops up on a bill, the audience tends to light up, and the other comics risk losing focus. I've seen him steal shows with short sets. He's yet to find his breakout project, but it seems like only a matter of time. Mondays are often light at comedy festivals, but there's a robust amount of shows tonight. I won't read them all to you. Let's just skim through here. Palatable Gay Robot is at the Asylum at 7 o'clock. Let's see what this is. Whatever it is, it sure doesn't load fast. Finally, here we go. Meet Humavibe's latest device, Billy Bowtie. Programmed to be the perfect performer, Billy must entertain the audience while remaining palatable. But when his material grows rusty, Billy downloads a personal history that leads to some unsettling questions. Which parts of ourselves are we willing to hide? How gay is too gay? And is San Diego-style hip-hop really a thing? Gabe Gibbs, Silly Songs, Sad Songs at Chelsea at 7 o'clock. The aforementioned Jay Jordan at Gramercy at 7:30. Oh yeah, Stand Up for Heroes. Well, that's kind of a big one tonight. Jim Gaffigan, Nora Jones, Mark Normand, DJ Questlove, Patty Scalfa, Jerry Seinfeld, Bruce Springsteen, Jon Stewart. Patty is Mrs. Bruce Springsteen, in case you don't know the name. Obviously, that's the big show tonight. Also at 8 o'clock, Tiny Cupboard. Kate Willett does an hour as part of New York Comedy Fest 2024. I love the title. The Gutter has at 8 o'clock, The Monday Show. I also love the title. What's this? 10:15 at New York Comedy Club. Steve Martin Presents. I haven't heard a thing about this. The description, you got me. The description is, okay, Steve Martin doesn't present, but SNL cast member Andrew Dismukes and SNL viewer Michael Good do. Join Andrew, Michael, and a few of their hilarious friends. You got me. Are you allowed to do that? Like, could I just call this podcast the Dave Chappelle Podcast? I guess I could. That's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. If you were new, I do this 7 days a week. Please follow the show in your favorite podcast app. If you would like the show without commercials, there's a link in the show notes that'll explain how you do that. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you could try it commercial free for 30 days. There's a banner in the app. Click the banner and tell you how it works. All right, see you tomorrow.